Mm.
I was resisting a lot of things.
Like what?
And resisting my style,
Mm.
my being introverted,
Mhm.
my idea of what I thought it should look like, the
Mm.
idea of how I thought they should learn, the idea of we need to do this many subjects. We
Ooh.
need to homeschool for this amount of time.
Oof.
Once I was able to let all of those things go and I accepted my energy levels, my style, their style, how much time I really had to give to homeschool and be consistent, that's when things started.
Mm. So it's the hearing it more so now, it's almost it's a unlearning for the parent much as it is learning for the actual child. How do you
Absolutely.
how do you stay, I don't want to say encouraged, but how do you stay inspired as you're unlearning at the same time that you're teaching somebody else?
Back to that, to the why.
Hmm.
Trust me, there's plenty of times when I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna send y'all to school. And so, I'm saying that to myself. Because I am a person who enjoys my alone time or being by myself for a while. And so it would be very easy to just send them to school and I'd be at home all day by myself, enjoy putting my music on. But when I look at the alternatives to
Mm.
sending them to school for our family, it's an absolute no.
Wow.
And so for me and the reasons we have. And so I think you constantly are going back to, is this right for me and my kids right now? And
Hmm.
every time I think about it and list the pros and cons, homeschooling is always the better option for us.
Now, as a African American woman, do you do you feel it's, I don't want to say harder, but do you feel it's not as accepted for a woman of color to make a decision like that versus maybe a different race?
It hasn't been for me.
Okay.
I will say that majority of the people I saw growing up were black. And
Hmm.
so uh but I will say the resources of what you see online, like when I go look at podcasts, normally I don't see me, right? And so I think that that is sometimes maybe a little bit difficult, in the sense of it would be nice to see more of me, but I have found resources with anybody because
Hmm.
either because I really think it's a personality thing. The people that I've resonated with the most, we have similar personalities, similar viewpoints.
Okay.
And so I think that's the most important factor. It'd be nice to have a little sister in there, laughing and cackling, but that's not, why I'm there. So, because I have my village, I have my people that I'm dealing with on a regular basis. But so it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see people of color, someone black, doing what I'm doing and that relatability. But I don't think it's necessary.
Hmm.
Not
This
for me.
is kind of off topic, but on topic. You should definitely consider having a podcast.
I've been thinking about it, Drew.
You should definitely consider, you have, not only do you have so much to offer, but you have so much to offer in different, like under one big umbrella in different sects of it. So if I don't know if you ever knew that I actually love teaching people how to make podcasts. So if you ever want to, I got you.
Okay.
What?
And the thing is, I don't really like talking about um, homeschooling in a sense of like how to set it up and how to do. I love talking about this aspect of it because
Mhm.
I think homeschooling is very personal.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and so a lot of people want to get into curriculum and what do you use? And, you know, uh, if you knew what I did, you'd probably be like, girl, what are you doing over there? But I don't get so much into the curriculum. The way we homeschool is it is core subjects, math, reading, writing, grammar, and then we do a lot of life skills, a lot of relationship building.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I love it because first you said something that stuck out, and I think we can apply this to like life in general. If you really get clear on what your why is, the other stuff will kind of take care of itself. Like you said, we got clear on the vision for our family, the why for our family. So then the curriculum was last. I think what people are seeing now, and you can let me know if I'm wrong, is they're going curriculum first, and then that's where they're finding so much tension because I think that's like throwing the kid right back into public school in their pajamas.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's the first question I get anytime someone asks me, "What kind of curriculum do you use?" And it's like I don't really know what to say to that because you have to do the other part first. I can tell you what I'm doing, but and I will say this, I do believe that sometimes people homeschool, not sometimes, usually there's something that has happened, the reason why they want to homeschool. Okay. Like maybe the problem with a teacher, or problem with the school system, or a learning challenge, or safety. There's usually something that's triggering. I think I should homeschool. And so sometimes you're leading with that too. You're going with that too much, and you're not ever going into the real why, the
Tell
real
us, tell
vision.
us more. Tell us more about that.
So, for instance, let's say a person is having a problem at school with a teacher, or the child doesn't seem motivated or whatever. And so somebody will come to me and say, "Well, I'm thinking about homeschooling. What kind of curriculum do you have?" Well, see, this is not the real issue. Okay, why are they having problems? You know, why are they having behavioral problems or learning challenges? Or what is it with the teacher? Is it that you need to maybe transfer them out of that classroom?
Hmm.
Or is it that you maybe need to go to a Montessori school? Homeschooling may not always be the best option because, see, once you start looking at what you can give, it may not be for you.
Oh, whoa. What do you? I like that because I've never heard anybody who homeschools say that.
Mhm.
It's usually homeschool or nothing. Like either homeschool or it's not right. What would make you think that if what will make you think that there's an option of maybe a Montessori school versus homeschooling?
Because we did Montessori, I don't think homeschooling is the answer for everything and everyone.
Hmm.
Like I said, when you look at sometimes what it takes to homeschool, you don't have. It's not because you don't love your children, energy wise. Because I saw a quote the other day and I said, "Oh, that's the truth. Homeschooling is going to bring out your issues. It's going to bring out your issues, whether you realize you have them or not.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a time management issue, organizational issues, consistency issues.
Mm-hmm.
It could be mental and emotional issues that you may have, and you can get very triggered homeschooling. And so, if you're not able to deal with that, or you're better able to deal with these issues with your child being in school, or maybe homeschooling but having a tutor for certain subjects,
I like that. I
right?
like that.
Um, there's a variety of things that you can do where you can continue to homeschool, or maybe use or choose another option where your child's still going to get what they need, but you also are getting what you need. Because remember, you're homeschooling is different because when you go to school, your teacher is not emotionally invested in your child. Not like that.
Not like that. No.
Not like that. What's most important when you homeschool is the relationship you have with your child. And if you've got these issues and these triggers going on, you can damage that relationship.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I I I respect that. You said you may not have what it takes
Mhm.
because now
That.
it's nothing wrong with that. You don't have the capacity, but you said something that made me and my wife usually always say this. marriage will show you who you really are.
Hmm.
It's not social media marriage, like real marriage. So
Yeah.
when you said that, like it was like homeschooling, like it's gonna show you your time management, organization, maybe some blocks and stuff like that. With knowing all of that, how did you get to year six?
I was determined to work through it.
Hmm.
I wanted to work through those things because they were important to me. And sending them back to school wasn't going to solve the issue, not for me and not for them. Again, when I look at the pros and
Hmm.
cons, it's better for me to work through my issues and whatever I need to shore up on than to send them to school. But I was willing to do the work, and I knew I was able to do the work. I was capable of doing the work.
Hmm.
And sometimes, because there were some things I had already worked through before I started homeschool. So I knew that what it was going to take. I was willing to get the courses or um, trial and error. I was willing to go through the trial and error. And more importantly, I was willing to be honest with myself
Hmm.
about my weaknesses, my triggers, my lack of maybe some time management things, because I was raised by my mother, Sandra, of course, and my father too. But Sandra don't play when it comes to clinics. And so, and so, and so I'll give you an example. One of the most important things to me was having a very nice home, neat, clean, beautiful looking home. Now, I wanted it to be, I didn't want it to be overwhelming, but that's how I was raised. And a lot of the podcasts and things I was listening to would say things like, oh, you just have to, that's just how it is. Your house is going to just be a mess because it's homeschool. And that didn't sit well with me. It didn't sit well with me. I just could not grasp. And, but I had to understand that because I learned later in life that I have ADHD. And Lord knows, I said, well, that makes so much sense. And so,
You would not think so at all.
uh, well, it's just executive function and it's
Hmm.
the planning. And I could get things done when I didn't have the kid. But once they
Okay.
start having children and now they're home all day,
It's a lot different.
right? And the house is not clean. Ooh, it wasn't working for me. And so I had to learn how do I accept? So that's why I said a lot of acceptance. How do I accept that I cannot have the home that I want to have with two kids? Can I accept that? Can I accept my house just being dirty or messed up? No, I cannot. So now what am I going to do?
Hmm.
That's when I realized simple. I had to live very, very simple. And so I'm gonna plug myself real quick.
Go for
Um,
it. Go for it. Go for it.
that's why I don't really talk about the homeschooling aspect as much as like how to do all of that, as I do more of the organizational, the planning, the mental aspect, the time management. See, once I got very, very simple, I had to get very simple on what is it that you actually want to accomplish. I
Hmm.
want to home, but Stacey, you can't have them out of home and it's gonna be clean all day. It's not gonna happen. So you're gonna have to scale that back. You're gonna have to get very simple in the way you decorate, the way you organize, the way you prioritize. Everything's gonna have to be very, very simple if you want to have this and this.
So you guys got to follow her on threads because when you read her stuff, it's like it's like when I read it, I always stop and I'm like, whew, make things simple. You don't gotta accomplish everything. And that's it's not a message that's popular, but it's what I think will get the result. In the long run, when you're not chasing A through Z, you're just doing A right now and B. Would you say with being 6 years and building your online business now and things like that, how does Stacy get a chance to pour back into herself?
Oh, that's a good one. Goes back to communication. communication with your spouse, communication with your children. I told my children one day, I said, mommy is like a cell phone. If she don't recharge, she gonna die.
The analogy.
So because I would say things like, I need some alone time, I need some personal time, I'm gonna leave and do this. And my kids felt like I didn't want to be with them. And when I explained it to like that, when I told them it's like a cell phone, I have to recharge or I won't be able to operate. You won't be able to call me. I won't be there. And so communicating that with my husband, communicating that with my children, accepting for myself that I need time alone. So once a week, I try to get out the house by myself for a couple hours.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I try to be in bed by 10 o'clock
Nice.
because I wake up early. And I incorporate breaks throughout my day. So when I'm taking a break, they're taking a break. Or getting outside every morning, I make sure I go for a walk. I do a 30-minute walk every morning. And so these things I've learned to incorporate throughout my day, uh, making sure that, husband and I have date night. I have very supportive community of people that help us, my parents, my husband's parents and friends. And we don't, it's not like they're there here all day, every day helping us. But I have learned to ask for help.
That's a big one. No, it's a big one because you're taking on such a humongous responsibility. And I know your kids are young, but I hope when they're older, they'll look back and realize like the sacrifice that mom and dad made was to set me up for something super good. So uh amazing. So we're landing the plane. So I have five random questions. They're rapid fire questions. So you can't think for a long time. You got to answer them as fast
Okay.
as fast as you can. You ready? All right. First one, no money limit. Where would you go live for a week?
The islands.
Ooh, which one?
I love Jamaica, but I want to
Mm,
try something new. So St. Martin.
okay, okay. I like it. All right. You get to buy one thing. It has to be something just for Stacy. No money limit. What would it be?
Ooh, an all-inclusive vacation.
I love she passing the hints, y'all. Third, I love it. I love it. Third question. Favorite movie.
Color Park.
Okay. Now, did you like the remake?
No, I did not.
I did not. Okay, I don't feel bad. I felt disappointed.
I was disappointed.
I was like, you should have left it alone.
But let me tell you, can I tell you why real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah,
I felt like it probably could have been better if they had a filmed it as a play instead of a movie.
instead of a movie.
Yeah, like how Alexander Hamilton, they made it a movie, but it was filmed as a play, so it still had that play vibe. I think if they had a done that, I think trying to make it a movie when it was originally a play, I think it messed up the vibe.
As soon as I
That's what I
heard,
thought.
as soon as I heard this, the singing and stuff like that, I was like, I want to leave. I want to leave.
I was hurt. I was
I was
hurt.
like, I was like, I was like, I was like, all right. Fourth question. If you could give the 18-year-old Stacy some advice, what would it be?
You don't have to know what you want to do with the rest of your life because nobody else knows.
Nobody else knows. No. Even when they tell you they know, they don't know.
And it's okay to change your mind.
Absolutely. Number five, the last question. If you had the ability to work or partner with one person in the world, who would it be and why?
In business or
Anything.
to work and partner with one person in the world, dead or alive.
Dead or alive? I do dead or alive.
Um, hmm. I know you said don't think about it, but right now what's coming to my mind is Maddie James.
Ah, Why is that?
I don't want to sound not humble or anything, but I see myself in her in that um she likes nice things, but her family is important to her. She realizes the work that it takes to get to where she needs to be. She is a very organized person,
Hmm.
but she also has a team of people that are helping her. And I admire that. And
I
even though
respect
we're
that.
maybe doing different things, because I'm nowhere near where she is, but that is what I like about her content.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we are wrapping the conversation up with Stacy. I cannot tell you if you guys are not following her on Threads. Please go follow her because the information is it's honest and it's just something that it's refreshing because we don't usually get people talking about I'm simplifying things. I'm making things simple so that I don't have to be chasing 80 things. Stacy, what words would you leave the audience with to wrap up?
I would leave them with if you are a homeschooler who is trying to grow a business or in the midst of growing a business, but your family is important to you, your home is important to you. Keep things very simple so that you can make the progress that you want to make.
Mhm. We're gonna make that a billboard somehow. Somehow. Stacy, thank you again for coming on the show. We will talk to you.
Thank you.